like to start with an apology to Hatun, because I made a video that was about last week on Speaker's Corner. And yeah, and I said what everybody was saying in the park, that she burned the Quran. She didn't. Apparently she didn't burn the Quran. It was just a rumor, it was a lie. A lie spread by the people in the park right at that moment. Now, in my defense, literally everybody who I spoke to in that moment said she burned the Quran, she burned the Quran, she burned the Quran, she burned the Quran, she burned the Quran. And I thought, well, if every single Muslim in the park is saying she burned the Quran, she burned the Quran. I trusted the people who were telling me that, and I was wrong in trusting them, because apparently it was wrong. It was a lie. Now, you know, my criticism of Hatun that I made on my own channel, Pavlov in response, check it out, still stands. I still don't think what she did is, you know, has any kind of reason behind, any kind of logic behind. I mean, I understand the logic, to taunt Muslims a little bit, you know, to get them a bit upset, a little bit upset, Imam Spaghetti and all that bullshit, but I don't agree with it. I think it has no class. I think it has no, you know, no view for the future, or what's gonna happen. But, first of all, lying that she burned the Quran. Secondly of all, attacking her physically and, you know, trying to physically ban her from the park, complaining to the police about her when she didn't do any of the things that she was accused of. That's not acceptable, guys. That is not acceptable, and I'm not gonna stand behind that. There's no way. There is no way. So, I spoke with some people in the park, and I'd like to invite any Muslim authority in the park to speak with me about this situation. Because I spoke with Sabur, I spoke with a few other people, with some speakers here. The conversation has been moderately respectful. You know, maybe I would speak with Sabur, with Jordan, with Mohammed Ijab, maybe if he's if he's not arguing with the police anymore, because right now he has a little bit of an argument. Anyway, I'd like to come to some kind of a solution to this, because as it's going right now, we had shit shows this big, and you know me, I love the shit shows. I like what happens, but it can't keep on going. We need to fix this somehow. And what I heard from the group of speakers from Speaker's Corner, because there's reunions of some of the main speakers, is that there has been almost zero communication with Muslims in the park. How? It's most of the people here. I mean, not most, but if you compare the groups of Muslims, they're bigger than the groups of other people here. How has there not been any communication between the different parties? It's baffling, and I think it's unacceptable, especially now that we have these problems going on. So, I offer myself to solve the problem. If there's any trust at all, you know, that's why I brought this thing here, to gain the trust of the people. No, just kidding. This is Ukrainian style t-shirt here. If there's any trust at all in what I've been doing here in the park, and I know there's plenty of Muslim preachers, met plenty of Muslims here who don't like me, thinking I'm a hate preacher, Islamophobe, blah blah blah, all that bullshit. I already said, I don't care. Islam is not that much of a big deal for me. It's not that much of a big center of attention for me. The main thing I'm against, is socialism. It's the main thing. The rest doesn't matter. The rest doesn't matter to me. But it seems like there's problems here in the park, and almost all of them involve Muslims. So the logical, the logical conclusion is to have conversation with the Muslim leaders here, so they can control the community better, so they can assert some kind of authority on them. Because I didn't see any authority last time, and I didn't see any authority asserted any of the times. You know, and I have this specific thing to say to all the to the Muslims here who don't actually have authority to speak for others. You know, not the dawas, not the speakers, not any of those. Why would you follow leaders who don't stand for what's best for you? I think you yourself need to pressure your leaders to help you to cooperate with other communities here, to speak with other people without actually having to resort to physical violence. Again, Hatun did not burn the Quran. She didn't. It had holes, yes, it had holes. She didn't burn it. It was a lie, just to make it sound more bombastic. You know, unacceptable. Unacceptable. There needs to be something to fix this situation. I offer myself to fix it. If there's any trust towards me, great. If there is, well, Speakers Corner is doing. We need to solve the problem, and I await any kind of approach from Dawas or from other Muslim speakers, so we can come to some kind of conclusion. I spoke with not only with a group of speakers, I also spoke with PC Barnes, you know, because he's the most approachable policeman around the place, and I gave him the option that I could be the mediator between the different groups and the Muslims, because there seems to be no mediation here, no communication, no talk, no conversation, zero, nothing. Nothing at all. So again, one more time, just for the conclusion, I offer myself to be the mediator of this, to promote conversation between the different groups, to have some kind of authority to stop these shit shows before they get blown out of proportion. Because once again, if this keeps on going, Speakers Corner is going to be finished for everybody, not just Muslims, Christians, whatever, everybody. And that is not something that I want to allow. That's it. Lasted a bit longer than I thought, but that's all I have to say. Thank you.